Thanks for your support as a channel member, Jack Watson. I can't decide if my beard's just gone really grey really quickly or if I've just not washed toothpaste out of it properly this morning. Keep an eye on that over the next few days. And in the meantime, I'd also appreciate it if you kept our run of 2,000 likes per video going. We are still hitting more than 2,000 likes a video, 8 episodes in, which is nuts. It's why the series is doing so well. It's much appreciated. Thank you very much. Now let's go and win some football matches. And we've got some new players to meet as well. Hello and welcome to part 8 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are away against Bradford Park Avenue and at home against Curzon Ashton. Since you were last with me, we've continued our good run of form. There was the one little dip against Kidderminster, who were second in the table at the time, but have now since dropped down to 4th. They beat us and then fell apart. Clearly, they got a little bit too overexcited at beating us and couldn't handle the pressure. So this is what the league table looks like. 34 games played. It's a 42-game season in this league, so we've got 8 games left. We're on 69 points, 4 points clear of Kettering, who were the other option to manage to start this. They're the 2 closest clubs to my house that I've not played before, so it's quite cool to see us competing at the top of the table together. York have made a massive recovery as the season's gone on, and as mentioned, Kidderminster seem to be in freefall. Adam Marriott is top scorer in the league by a mile. Alfie Payne is best player in the league by a mile. The runner-up to that is Adam Marriott. We should be on for promotion, you would hope. I can't remember if I've mentioned it on a previous episode, but the board have also given me a new contract. I've got a contract running till the end of next season, despite the fact that with the new signings I'm about to show you, we're now way over the wage budget, but they don't seem to care. Yes, we're struggling on that one, but we're doing so well on everything else that I'm still on an A+ on the manager performance, and they're not criticising my management of the wage budget either. So I'm interested to know how the 5-year plan thing works. I wonder if they perhaps judge it maybe once a year or a couple of times a year, or maybe at the end of the 5 years. I don't really know how that's judged, but they're not saying I failed it yet, even though we are £700 a week over it, thanks to a couple of new signings. News as well, Aaron Jones. He's going back to America. He spent a few years... Where are we? He spent a few years playing at various American clubs a year or two back. His contract's up at the end of the season. He currently earns £160 a week with us. I would have liked to have kept him. He's been an important player this year, but there were several American teams in for him. He's going to the Ottawa Fury, who are going to pay him over £1,000 a week. So, yeah, he's gone. Going. He's not gone yet. But we have brought a couple of extra players in. I'm still trying to get rid of players, but as you can see, nobody wants to leave. We've got about 8 players on the transfer list now. So when we get to the summer and contracts expire, there's going to be a lot of players leaving, and we can start properly building my team then. This is still bringing bits in here and there where I can, but I haven't been able to do the complete rebuild I normally would do because I can't get rid of players. But we've got a new goalkeeper. Jonathan Flatt is 25 years old. He's been playing for Rushall down in the non-playable leagues all season, and as you can see, has been playing exceptionally well for them. And he is much better than Brad Watkins. He's one of those... He's a leading player for most National League sides, so he'd be a leading player the division above us. He's just one of those players who's somehow lost deep in non-league and appears on a scout report. Oh, okay, yes, I'll sign him. Yes, he's on a lot of money. Yes, we're probably going to have to let Watkins go to be able to afford to keep him, but I couldn't really say no to an opportunity like that. I then signed Mikhail Kennedy, who's a Northern Irish former under-21 international, 23 years old, 3-star current ability, which puts him almost as good as Adam Marriott, better than George Danaher. He's been playing on loan. In fact, no, he's not been playing anywhere this season. He was previously of Charlton, has had a few loans, but no one's picked him up over the course of the season, and it just seemed like a bit of a no-brainer to bring him in. But then, less than a week later, my director of football said, I don't think you've got enough strikers at the club, so sign this guy on loan until the end of the season, Charlie Kelman, who's a 4-star current ability striker, which makes him better than Adam Marriott. So, poor old Danaher. And in fact, poor old Kennedy, because Danaher's obviously the man in possession at the moment, so I'm not going to just drop him. But it means that Kennedy's come in thinking he's finally getting an opportunity after not having a club all season, and now he's not even going to get on the bench. He made one appearance off the bench, and that's it, because we've now got Kelman, who's even better than him. So thanks. I mean, it's a good signing, Mr. Director of Football. Could you not have signed him a week earlier so we didn't have to bring that guy in? That would have saved us £190 a week on our budget. So this is the team that we're going to be taking on Bradford Park Avenue, where we've got Flat in goal. Flat's actually making his debut. He came in, and despite having played for Rushall pretty much week in, week out, he came in not fully match fit. So his first couple of experiences at Kings Lynn have been sat on the bench, but he is now not match fit, but at least he's fully conditioned. So he can now come into the team. We've then got Macaulay, Fryatt and Smith at the back. Fryatt is on the verge of becoming Kings Lynn's all-time record appearance holder. Alex Street, the keeper we sold right at the start of the season, or let go for free, is the current record holder with 340 appearances. Fryatt's got 334 appearances for us. So he should, by the end of the season, as long as he doesn't pick up an injury, become our all-time record appearance holder. And we've got Kenyon and Jones as our wing-backs, Payne and Carter in midfield as usual, Stevens behind Danaher and Marriott up front, which means Watkins drops down to the bench for the first time this season, and new boy Kelman is going to start from the bench. And, I mean, he's got a bit of a tall order. We've already said there's only 8 games left. We've got the best striker in the division and a very adequate partner alongside him in the shape of Danaher. I don't see how Kelman's going to get much in the way of game time. It could take him up to 8 games to force his way in the team. Right, go out there, finish off where you left off in the last match is always a good team talk as far as I'm concerned. Bradford Park Avenue are down in 19th place, very much in a relegation battle with Gateshead, Gloucester, Brackley. It looks like Curzon and Ashton are already gone, but Bradford are going to want a win today to help their chances of staying in the league. But obviously we'd also quite like a win, because a win for us gets us one step closer to automatic promotion. And I think in the position we're in now, certainly even as recently as last episode, I would have been quite happy with the playoffs. I think at this point I kind of want to go up automatically. That is pathetic. That's our new goalkeeper there. That is making me question everything. Let's just have a look at this piece of goalkeeping. Brad Watkins might be coming on in a minute, because this, I mean, pathetic is the word. He's literally just taken a step back, got out of the way, and then 10 seconds afterwards puts his hands on his head as if he's then realised what's happened. We already watched you get out of the way, you idiot. Well, Flat has, he's not won me over immediately there. If he makes another dumb mistake, that'll be him done. You know how I can be with goalkeepers at times. Luckily, we've got Adam Marriott at the other end, who's scored not an immediate reply, but pretty close to immediate when it comes to highlights. It's the next highlight. 27th goal of the season from Marriott. The amount of those goals that have come from an Alfie Payne corner as well. That must be the 4th or 5th goal that's looked exactly like that one. Payne with the corner. Marriott nods in. We're going to miss Alfie Payne next year if we can't get him back on loan. Not necessarily number one priority. We need to sign some defenders. But a high priority for the summer will be trying to get Alfie Payne back on loan again. In a dream world, we'd like to sign him permanently. But I imagine, Norwich would be stupid to let him go permanently after the season he's had for us. But we've got Danaher in here. Danaher, second attempt, and it's his 12th goal of the season now for George Danaher. He's seen 2 strikers come in the last couple of weeks, and after some of the things he's heard me say about him in the distant past, he's worried. He doesn't need to be worried. Danaher has won the hearts and minds of the Kings Lynn faithful this season after such a poor start. I think he went 8 games without a goal at the start of his Kings Lynn career. But since then, he's scoring really quite consistently. 12 goals in probably the next 20, 22 games. He's not a bad goal return at all. And Marriott and Danaher showing why they're the best strike partnership in the division, and why Charlie Kelman probably should have gone somewhere else on loan. Guard against complacency for the rest of the game. Absolutely, we're going to guard against complacency. And we're also going to keep an eye on Flat and make sure he doesn't do anything dumb again. I would certainly class that as one strike. I'm not known for my patience with goalkeepers. And that I've not seen Watkins do anything terrible. I only signed Flat because he looked so good. But if he's going to start doing stupid stuff, we'll go back to Watkins. And Chris Smith, now, is he captain? I think I made Chris Smith captain. I can't remember now. I'm sure I made Chris Smith captain. Either way, he's just scored his first goal, I think, for the club. Payne with I need to check if Smith is captain. I can't think who would be if he isn't. But this is what happens when I record on a Monday morning, because I try not to record at weekends. Even when there's episodes coming out over the weekend, they're usually recorded like Friday, Saturday. So I have some time away from the save and can't remember what's going on. Smith is captain. I knew he was. I didn't doubt myself even for a second. We're going to take off Stevens, bring on Aaron Sibia. I'm tempted to bring Kelman on for Danaher just to have a look at him. I know Danaher's playing quite well, but Kelman, if he's that much better than Marriott, like the coach reports suggest, and I know that we're going to get plenty of comments saying, Kev, you're aware your coaches have got 3 for judging player ability or whatever they might have. Yes, I'm aware of that. If you want to know why I'm comfortable with that, check the series intro, which explains why that's absolutely fine. 28th goal of the season from Marriott, and that makes it 4-1 to Kings Lynn, and this is comfortable now, and that's a lovely finish from Marriott, closing in on 30 goals for the season. But as I was saying, I don't mind the fact that my coach reports are rubbish, but what you got to remember is they're judging every player equally rubbishly. So they'll sometimes get it wrong, but they all seem pretty confident that Kelman's the best striker at the club now. And Marriott's just got his 28th goal of the season. So that is no mean feat to be the best striker at a club where one of the other strikers is doing that kind of thing. So although he might not be a 5-star potential player, if you had him with someone who's got judging 20 for judging player ability nonsense, but he's obviously good, and I want to see how good. We're going to bring Barrows on for Jones. Barrows has got to make the step up now. We've been training him to play as a wing-back, which he can now do a little bit. He's now accomplished as a wing-back. He's got it in his position description. But with Jones leaving, the onus is going to be on Barrows to convince me I don't need to sign a new right wing-back for next season. Marriott's in again. It's off the crossbar. Kelman with the follow-up. Can't turn it into the back of the net. And we've not really seen anything from Kelman yet. To be fair, we've only given him 15 minutes. But he's not done anything to convince me he has to be in the team ahead of Danaher in the next match, because Danaher scored and Kelman's not scored. I mean, it's as simple, although Kelman's in here. If he tucks this away, that might change everything. Danaher doesn't need to worry. He's all right at the moment. He'll be fine. It's 4-1 to Kings Lynn. I think that's how it's going to finish. And that should leave us comfortably clear at the top of the league. We were 4 points clear going in. I haven't been keeping track of how that's changed during the match. We are now 6 points clear at the top of the league with 7 games to play. That is massive. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like surely we can't mess this up now. Can we? Can we? Have we got it in us to mess this up? Really hope not. I can't whisper because I've got a sore throat, but I really hope not. Right, let's go play Curzon Ashton, the team who are even worse than Bradford Park Avenue. No changes for the Curzon Ashton game then. If you hit quick pick, it really wants to put Kelman in. I had a little look. I like to hit quick pick every now and again to see what's going on. But yeah, we're obviously going to play Danaher. Danaher scored and is the man in possession. Kelman has done nothing to force his way into that team yet. He needs to play well or score a goal or 2 off the bench. If he does that, then we'll consider putting him straight in. But there you go. We need to carry on from where we left off. In the last match, 6 points clear. I don't know who Kettering and York are playing. Hopefully, games they're going to lose. Have we just won a penalty? Danaher, in fact, won the penalty with 3 minutes on the clock, and it's Marriott to step up to hopefully score his 29th goal of the season. There is Marriott. There is goal number 29. We're 1-0 up. And as it stands, 8 points clear at the top of the National League North, although the league table doesn't seem to have ticked over updated yet, but I can do maths. I know that 6 add 2 is 8. There you go. We now have the 8-point gap. Plus, most importantly, because we were struggling with this early on in the season, we now have the best goal difference of everyone else involved in this as well, which is, it's worth an extra point. Because if any of these do catch us up, we've got them for goal difference as well. So I think at this point, it's when rather than if, isn't it, that we win the league? If we mess this up today, I'll change my mind. If we win this match, though, it's got to be when rather than if. They've intercepted there. Carter was hovering on the edge of the area, but Curzon and Ashton have got the ball back, and they're trying to come at us down this, well, down our right-hand side. Their left, right intercepts, though, plays it across to Macaulay, and that is calm as you like. We have just snuffed out the danger there. Kenyon, wow, that was a risky pass, but it ends up making its way through to Marriott. Jones on the right-hand side now has got space to try and get a crossover. Kenyon's come in from the left-hand side. It's a 6th goal of the season for Jake Kenyon. We identified him as an important player when we first signed him. It took him a while to settle in, similar to Danaher. Both of them have taken a little while to settle in, but Kenyon has become a very, very important player at left wing-back for us, and as you can see, weighing in with his fair share of goals as well. Recently, made him vice-captain as well. I do remember doing that, because I did that this morning. See, if I do stuff this morning, I remember doing it. But we had a vacancy at vice-captain. We moved Smith up to captain when Clunan left, but never actually replaced Smith as vice-captain. So finally took the plunge this morning and gave it to Kenyon. Fryatt now hovering around just inside, not just inside, well inside their half. Carter, I thought he was shaping up to shoot, but he's actually played Macaulay in with a through ball, and we've got our centre-back playing out on the wing at the moment. This is total football from Kings Lynn. Crosses to Stevens. Stevens is somehow offside. I don't see how he's offside there. There was so many Curzon Ashton shirts. That's Stevens. So it's not Stevens who's offside. They've given, who is that? Adam Marriott offside. It's very harsh when that happens, because I don't see how Marriott is involved in that move at all. Stevens stayed onside. It's a nice cross to Stevens, so the goal should stand. I think that's very harsh. Perhaps I don't understand the offside rule properly. I guess you could argue he stood right in front of the keeper, might be distracting the keeper, or distracting the defenders around him, maybe. But I think it's a bit of a stretch saying Adam Marriott has directly caused that ball to end up in the back of the net. Payne with a stunning free kick. We've seen him do it once before. Now we've seen him do it again. He's only got 2 goals for us this season, and they've both been free kicks that have looked a lot like that in videos, I think. Alfie Payne likes to show off for you lot. It's his 2nd of the season, our 3rd of the day. Kettering and York still not scoring in their games, it seems. They must be playing now, because I don't think we had a game in hand going into this match. So as it stands, still with that 8-point lead at the top of the table, and Payne plays it up for Marriott to chase. Marriott trying to close down their keeper now, doesn't get anywhere near him before it's kicked clear. And that is terrible from their player. Carter intercepts comfortably. Danaher to Payne, out to Kenyon. It looks like we've got 2 or 3 extra players at the moment. Kenyon down the left-hand side. It looked like he'd lost the ball, but ends up winning it back, getting the cross in, but it's a poor cross. And now they're trying to play it into the gap. Kenyon's left behind him, but Macaulay's there to cover. But they've charged past him now, and they've actually going to get an opportunity here. Flat makes the save, and there you go. Well, if he does much more like that, Flat, we might remove his strike that he got for the last match. Forget what I just said, because again, I feel like he's quite poor here. He's out of position, isn't he? What are your thoughts? You've seen Watkins play a number of games now. You've now seen Flat play too, and I do feel like he's out of position. What is he doing? Is he going to try and catch the... He's kind of caught in no man's land. He's not staying back to try and save the header, but he's also not going out to try and collect the free kick. So what is he doing? Why is he standing where he's standing? What's he up to? What's his game? Kelman coming on, give him his 20 minutes again, and Aaron Sibia, both of them. I think they're going to be the usual substitutes for the rest of the season now, but we're keeping a particular eye on Kelman again, because if he puts in a performance, maybe he'll start the next game, because Danaher hasn't really turned up today. Barrows is going to come on for Fryatt, just to we want to keep getting game time into Barrows, even if we don't need. There's no reason to take Jones off today. He's been one of the best players on the pitch, but Barrows is young. We're looking to continue his development. Jones is actually tiring, so there probably was an argument to take him off. But most importantly, I've just glanced at the league table again, and it looks like neither Kettering or York have won their games. So let's not worry about what's going on with Kelman. Let's not worry about even if they score here, because it doesn't matter. We've got goals to spare. This is what's important, because 8 points clear with 6 games remaining. I'm going to have to start doing some maths to work out when to come back for the next video. I had planned to just show you the last 2 games of the season. But if it carries on like this, we'll have things wrapped up before then. We're going to have to come back a little bit sooner. We're trying to... I mean, this seems to have been a long highlight. I started that little sentence because I was expecting to be able to show you the league table properly and the fixture list before I finished it. But they just carried on. I mean, they weren't even attacking. They just had the ball. And it was silly. We've got to play Gloucester. Gloucester are another team who've been struggling. So what's going on with Kettering? York drew 1-1. Kettering drew 0-0. So they did both play. Both Kidderminster as well with a draw. So all 3 of the teams chasing us failing to pick up points, which means we find ourselves 8 points clear, 6 games to go. And I think rather than... It's done it again. There we go. Rather than declaring now when we're going to be back for the next episode, if we still haven't won the league by Telford, we'll just come back for the last 2 games of the season. But if things carry on going the way they're going now, we'll just come back for the game where we could win the league, I guess. Seems like the sensible thing to do. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Remember, 2,000 likes an episode is what we're looking for, and you've been smashing it so far, so let's continue to smash it. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, turn your notifications on, all that stuff as well. And thank you very much for watching.